Okay. Hello, everybody. Try to get your attention. Just want to respect your time and we can get started. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you so much for coming today, by the way. Is anyone familiar with Intelligent Office? Have you been here before? Any newcomers? Okay. I just want to endorse this service really quickly because I love it. And if you're self-employed and you're looking to keep your costs low, this is a fantastic solution. My office is right across the hall, so they're great if you need space to work, virtual space. They also have phone answering services. They can do your lead intake form. So if some of you have jobs during the day, but you have businesses on the side, it's a really great solution to keep it professional. They can make sure that your business is running during the day for a nominal fee. So if you're interested in taking a tour after today's Lunch and Learn, please let me know. And I can have one of the assistants set you up. They take all your calls, you just forward them right here. They'll take very good care of you. Even managing your calendar, your appointments, anything that you need just about, they'll customize a package for you. So I just want to give you my endorsement for this service, and they're nice enough to sponsor this Lunch and Learn for us today. So they are a fantastic service for small businesses. And as you can see, the view is very, very nice. We can all see Columbus Commons right from a lot of the offices. So, that being said, and pardon my speaking very quickly, but I want to get you into our presentation of reputation management on social media. And I want you to think about the buying experience. Think about our reputation and when we shop online. You know, what does it mean? What do we look at? What do we do? We all trust the internet, right? It's nothing but facts and wonderful information. Everything is 100% accurate, right? Probably not. So what do we do? How do we determine whether or not someone is real? How do we find out if the person behind the profile picture is who they say they are? You know, what does that process look like? And now Google, they've changed the rules quite a bit to where your reputation is pretty much almost the most important feature of being boosted in search engine results, as well as lots of other things. But reputation management is a part of that. And I really just wanted to talk to you today as to how that fits in. How do we control it? You know, should we freak out if we get a bad review on Google Plus or Yelp or Facebook? You know, how does that impact our businesses? And how do we stay in charge and in control of whether or not that happens, right? So just join me. And usually I don't work with PowerPoint presentations because I'm kind of a free-spirited, so bear with me, and I might abandon it along the way. This is my attempt to see how this works. But let's get started. The first thing I want you to know is what kind of impact it makes on your business, the effect that it has. So we talk about your SEO results. We type something into Google. We have a phrase, right? Law firms in Columbus, Ohio, for example. And then what's Google going to do? They're going to pull up whatever the search results are, and you might find ads first, right? Then you probably see maps, and there's businesses in those maps, and then up underneath, you'll also see a few other links and meta tags of other businesses that match those results. Well, part of the factor of them determining whether or not you're boosted in those rankings now are what your scores are going to be. So if the 5-star business is far more likely to be boosted in the search engine rankings than someone that has 3.5 stars. So that's become a very important feature. And not only are they looking at what your results are in Google+, they're also looking at what your results are on Facebook. They're looking at what your results are on Yelp and these major search sites that tell people what their experience is like with you. The Better Business Bureau. What do people say about you? Because keep in mind that Google is a source of information. This is what they are. So they hold every website to the standard that they hold themselves to. You have to be relevant. You have to be accurate. And they want to make sure that they are providing good quality recommendations to the people who are experiencing their search engine. So we have to make sure that you're a part of that experience and that you're in the front of it. It also affects your potential leads. And I'm going to get into that just a little bit later. We'll talk about some of the psychology of lead gen when someone is searching for you and they might find out what your scores are. We've seen this experience before. How many of us look at the reviews before we make a purchase or a buying decision? Right? It's a part of that. It strengthens your campaigns. You know, you think when we're doing social media campaigns, does anyone ever advertise on Facebook, boosted posts, anywhere, maybe Pinterest, very nominal Facebook advertising? Here's the thing that we realize when you're advertising on social media. If you've noticed, the retail industry's been hit big time this year. But we've also noticed that there's been quite a decrease in advertisement opportunities on television. There's commercial-free plans now. People are leaving cable alone. And then they're paying the extra $3 to do away with commercials, which means that now they have to find another place to flood you. And where's that going? To your phone, your mobile devices, right? Mobile device use is 55% above desktop. And it's going to increase. It's only going to rise. That's not going anywhere. So that tells us that people need to be advertised to right here in their hand. But what's the problem with that? The problem is if I'm advertising on Facebook, I just saw a really interesting video of Donald Trump. And he got my attention. And now you want me to look at what? Right? Are you more interested in Donald Trump, or does it take seconds for someone to do this and you're gone? So you have to figure out how to steal someone's attention in a very short amount of time. And if you even happen to have gained their attention through clicking on that advertisement, now we're going to go through a shopping experience. So you have to make sure that they return back to you. And that happens through frequency. And that happens through reputation, building trust. And people, they trust you if they see you often, right? So it strengthens your campaigns because when they go around and they start searching for you and they start comparing you to your competition, they want to make sure that you are who you say you are. You can do what you say you can do. And this is where the trust is gained. Not only just in your content, people are 80% more likely to buy from you if you're producing your own content. So that's an important part of your reputation, making sure that you're also contributing quality content, writing blogs, going live, video blogs. Find an employee in your organization who is very outgoing, that doesn't mind, or narcissistic, and doesn't mind the center of attention being on them, right? You just need that person that doesn't mind going out there and doing it. Because having a point of view is what helps people to trust you, to say, hey, you know what, this person, they know what they're talking about. Now, a while ago, everyone was producing blogs, and we would submit blogs to guest blog sites like the Huffington Post and hope that we get picked up, right? But that's not necessarily the case anymore. The new thing is video. When we think about the blogging process and what it takes for someone to read something anymore, the average attention span is 3 seconds on the internet. 3 seconds. So if I pick up a blog, the first thing they see is an image. And if they like the image, then they'll go and look at the headline. If they like the headline, they want to know that you wrote a blog that will tell them how to be a millionaire in 7 bullet points. And they need to walk away feeling like they could be a millionaire by reading 7 bullet points. So, as unrealistic as that sounds, that's the internet. That's the nature of the beast, is to get your point across very quickly and to be powerful within seconds, right? But they're getting around that because now people don't even want to read. 7 bullet points is too much. So we want a video. We want to watch it. How many of us type something into Google and then the next thing we click on is videos? We'd rather see a video of how to do something, right, than we would read through. That's the habit that's been created, and it ain't going nowhere. So, all these things factor into your reputation because in your video they get a chance to hear your tone, your personality, your attitude. They get a chance to see who you are because we're buying from people, right? Because there's so many people that do the same thing. We don't have to be the original. We just have to be someone that people like. And video really helps us to do that and to do it quickly and to do it in a way that's convenient. So I want you to understand the buying process. You saw an advertisement. It popped up on your phone. Maybe it was a banner ad. You clicked on that ad. What do you do next? Anybody? If you find yourself that you're interested, what are the kinds of things that you look for to determine whether or not someone is legit? If you're going to actually put your credit card information into the internet, someone kind of walk me through that experience. What do you look for in someone before you make a purchase?
Better Business Bureau.
Better Business Bureau? Yep. So reviews. What else?
Comments that people might have posted.
Engagement.
Yep.
Right. What else? Pricing. Right? We're going to compare pricing. Right? What else do we look for? Branding. Do we want someone that has like, a clip art for logos and it looks like their website came from 1999 dial-up? Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that you want me to spend money with you, but you're not spending money on your own brand, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of a flag. These are the kind of things that people look for when they're buying online. This is the experience. So what will happen is someone clicks on an ad and then they go to this landing page. It's usually how it goes. And they're asking you for something. They incentivize, leave your email address and we'll put you into our database and claim this offer. We will email you a coupon. But before you even decided to go that route, there's things you want to know. And you're going to leave that landing page and you're going to now compare prices. You're going to look at this company's reputation. You're going to look at the engagement that people are having, their buying experience. I'm one of those people that if I do say they have a bad review, I want to know how do they address it. So I'll go in and read, if this is a bad review, because it happens. We can't make everyone happy, right? And it's not realistic that every customer is going to be 100% happy. So that's just fine. But what is the problem? Is there a common trend? Are they saying the same things? Did they address that review? Did they apologize? So you have to understand the buying process of what it takes for people to want to purchase something. Your advertising is a part of that. The images that you choose, making sure that it's impactful and compelling. And I say, I have a 3-second rule. And the 3-second rule is not, if food falls on the floor, you pick it up, you got 3 seconds. My 3-second rule is it needs to grab their attention in 3 seconds. It needs to make them want to make a decision. 3 seconds or less. Okay? Have a call to action. Immediately tell them what you want them to do. Claim an offer. Click here. Find out more. So these things are important. Your social media content. Keep in mind that if they saw your ad on Facebook, they're probably going to go to your Facebook page next. There's always that little thumbnail where you see an ad and right in the corner you can like the page or you can go and visit it, especially if you're campaigning for more likes. It's going to take them back to your page and they're going to read the content that's on your page. If it is ad after ad after ad, people don't care to see buy this, buy that, sell this, that's not important. What they want to see is who are you? Your website, that's your image, but your social media, that's your voice. That's your chance to have a personality. That's your chance to engage with people, to see, hey, we might have some common interests here. Without taking a side, you can also be involved. So they want to see how are you involved and what difference do you make in your community, especially if you're a small business, especially if you're a consultant. This is your chance to have a point of view on what's happening in your community. And of course, we talked about competition. They want to make sure that your branding is good. I have a friend, and his saying at his agency, Savell & Savell, they do websites and they're awesome. But his saying is, if you're better than your competitors, shouldn't your website also be better, right? So you should look better than the competition. Really take time and see what they're doing and do it better. Take a look at their ads. Subscribe to some of their advertisements. See what they're doing and do it better. That's the way to really boost your reputation. To make sure that you look good, you look better than the other pages that they're going to do, because we know they're going to compare. They want to know, is yours cheaper? Is this the price? Why is this the price? Why is it set so high? Why is it set so low? How can you do that? We have to really think when it comes to the internet, because there are so many sources that sell things to us all the time. So the average millennial, we do a lot more research, and the reason why is because it's at our fingertips. We're so used to having information. I remember the last time I went to the library, it was kind of a funny story, but I was looking for the card catalog. That's how long it had been since I last went there, and they just kind of laughed at me. But we're just so used to having information right there. So we do a lot of research. It is a part of our habit to research who we're working with, who we're dealing with, and to get to know them and find out who are they. Do I want to do business with them? What football team are they rooting for? Is there something in their personality that I can connect with? We want to know those things. It matters to us because we know we can buy it anywhere in the world. But why am I buying it here? And that's the question, right? And keep in mind that social advertising is about targeting. So if you targeted a certain person, your competitors are targeting them too, right? I have so many ads from all these holistic food companies and delivering services because I'm a foodie and I've subscribed to those Tastemade videos. I love those videos, by the way. I'm very addicted to them. It's such a unrealistic expectation because they'll take a 1-hour meal and make it down to 30 seconds, and then I find myself 15 minutes in and I'm done wanting to cook. It's an illusion. But they knew how to target me because of what my experience is on the internet. And now I finally found a service. It took me a while, but I subscribed them there. But they were aggressively, frequently targeting me, burning the image into my mind of this food. And then one day you're just a little too hungry and you can't get close enough and you're like, yes, I'm buying it. So that's why the consistency is important. So that's one of those things when it comes to setting your ad budget. make sure that your budget is set so your ads can be consistent and that it can be frequent. You don't want to just everyone sees your ad 3 times. That's not enough for them to make a buying decision. Okay? Your landing pages. If you do not want someone to leave your landing page, most of the time, you go to a landing page and it's this horrible, long URL that you will never try to repeat and type in again, right? You're not going to do it. So if someone clicks off that landing page, they're gone until they see the ad again. So how do you keep them on the landing page? You keep them there by putting all the things that they're going to research right there on the page. They don't have to go anywhere. Tell them why you're better than the competition. Put a few of your customer testimonials right there on that landing page, right there. Facts tell, the stories sell. Make sure that it's there. Put the images there, the product reviews right there on the page so they don't have to do all that shopping around and trying to figure it out. Because they really want to make the decision as quickly as they possibly can. So help them through it, right? So let's talk about our best practices. And I'm sorry, are there any questions at this point before I move forward? No? You're doing good? Ask. Ask for the review. Whenever you have a client or a customer that had a very good experience, they compliment you and they say, hey, that was really great. You did a good job. I appreciate what you did. You guys are awesome. Ask them to leave you a review at that moment. Send them the links to your review sites. Have them accessible and handy. Even put them in your email signature. But be careful if you're going through one of those, heated emails back and forth. You don't want to have those links handy in that case. So maybe put it somewhere, where you can just copy and paste and ask it. You can even create a template for it that would, address what people need and plug their name in or whatever it is. Hey, such and such. I'm so glad that you had a good time doing blank. Thank you very much for your business. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you again in the future. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a review, and then so on and so forth. And they should want to leave you a review, right? Because they had a great experience. You saved them money or time or something. You gave them something that they wanted. We're all in business for one reason. We're here to solve a problem. You solve someone's problem. So at this point, you have the right to ask for a review. So make sure, that'll take me to my next point, that you develop a system for asking for reviews. Put it in your email newsletter. Does anyone send out a newsletter every month? Is anyone pretty actively involved and engaged on social media for the most part, Does anyone have monthly meetings with some of their clients? Develop a system where it is consistent and they understand that your reviews and your reputation are important to you. These are the sorts of things that we didn't necessarily think to do prior to reputation management being an important part of our search engine results. All the money that people pour into SEO, it's expensive. Has anyone ever gotten that bill before? Like really seen how much it costs for good SEO? It can usually start somewhere around $5,000 a month. And you can put all that money into backlinks and, press releases and building additional pages and blogging and keyword research and AdWords. And then you get bad reviews and it tanks your score. Just like that. So you really want to create a system and make sure that that's a part of the system. And another point is, make sure your team is on board. Really educate and inform everyone on your team on this. Make sure that they understand the importance of reputation management. And it sounds fancy to say reputation management, but what we're really talking about here is customer service. It's good old-fashioned customer service. It's just that now we're pushing the customer service from the front-end phones and from just the little customer chat to now it's going to social media. Has anyone noticed the little feature on Facebook where there's a customer service tool that tells them how long it's going to take for them to get back to you? What's their average of responding to messages? And if you can't get to those messages within 5 minutes, it starts tanking your customer service score on Facebook. They've become that powerful. The people are looking for these things. And now I've getting more customers that are sending their inquiries and their messages through Facebook than they were on the website. And the reason why is because they know someone has to be there. Someone's posting. Someone has to do it. I had an experience with a hotel in Chicago I won't say who they are, but they gave me a very hard time of getting checked in after a 6-hour drive and 2 hours in traffic, just trying to go 1 mile up the road in their rush hour. Made bad timing. It's horrible. But anyhow, I went to their Facebook page and I sent them a message. And I sent them a message of a preliminary review. I said, I'm going to tell you this will be my review, but I'm going to give you a chance to address my review and change my opinion before I post this. And they gave me the world. They gave me a free night stay for the next time I came back. I went there pretty frequently. You know, they gave me free room service and drinks. It was pretty awesome. All this because I was going to leave a negative review on Facebook. They care. These businesses, they care. And someone's in charge of making sure that your experience is a good one, because social media matters and it travels very, very quickly, almost overnight sometimes. Absolutely. And as we know, people are much more likely to leave a bad review than a good one. So if you don't have a system for asking for good ones, then you leave your reputation up to people who did not have a good experience with you. And that can be 2 or 3. But 2 or 3 bad reviews, when there are no good ones, it looks huge. It can destroy you. Just like that. I worked with a surgeon in Orange County, and he told me that he was able to, I hate to say get a deal, you know, there's lack of better words, but he was able to acquire a new patient because he had 5 stars and another guy had 4.5. Just like that. Keep in mind, it's a plastic surgeon. This isn't $14.99. You know, you're talking about a few thousand and higher just because he had better reviews. And it doesn't mean that he was a better surgeon, which I think he's pretty awesome. But it just means that he was on top of managing his reputation online. He made sure that what people said about him, it was out there. We even put reviews, we had a process where whenever his clients would text him a compliment, we would put that in part of our social media content. So we would do, even some of my clients, we call it Testimonial Tuesday. Every Tuesday we post a testimonial for a customer. So even if they didn't leave it on a review site, maybe they emailed it in, you know, maybe they just sent a compliment, we will compile a list of compliments into one place and we will put that into a system to make sure that we are putting those compliments out there in our social media content, in our email content. I think it's great to lead with a compliment. It's really great to do that. Even in your blogs, you can write your blog and then you have your little call to action. Contact us for more information and close it with a compliment. Cover letters, I think it's great to have a page in your cover letter, in your resume, that has compliments from people that you've worked with in the past. So I think that if you're not in the habit of collecting, you know, good information, it's good to have it, and it fights depression. It reminds you of why you do what you do, right? So it's good to have those things. It matters, you know, include it. Make sure even if someone sends in a message, you can shout them out from your email database list and say, thank you so much for this client. We're so happy to be a part of your success. Thank you for leaving us this wonderful review. And you can ask the rest of your clients to do the same. So that goes back to having a system, and I would at least ask bi-weekly. At least, at the minimum, ask for a good review. Don't just say, give us a review. Please give us a good review. I learned that in my time in sales, that it's okay to ask for someone to leave a good review. Otherwise, they'll give you the whole thing. And, you know, it's great for someone to leave a story, but to say, hey, look, if you had a great experience today, please give me 5 stars. Ask. When it comes to social media, you have to tell people exactly what you want them to do, or else you leave it up to whatever they translated that information to be. Right? You might get some bad reviews sometime. That's okay, as long as you know how to handle it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Do understand that it's a numbers game at that point, that you have to ask for more good reviews to really downtrodden those bad ones, because they'll go down, you know. There's only so far people are going to really search, you know, unless you are the rare weirdo that hits page 15 in the Google search result. I'm not that person. You got me maybe 3 pages, and if you got me in 3 pages, then, you know, I must have been really desperate to find that information. But most people are not searching that hard. So even if they do see that you have 3.5 stars, and then the first 5 reviews that show up are all great, that sends a good message. And it's okay to have a few bad ones, because sometimes when you have all good reviews, that looks suspicious, to be honest. I worked with a reputation management company that said that their customers were more profitable at 3.5 to 4.5 stars than they were at 5 stars, because people want to see that you are a real business and you're not trying to manipulate the review process. And even social networking sites are much more strict about that. And we'll talk a little bit more. I'll give you an experience of a story that I've had. But like I said, make sure the good reviews outweigh the bad ones. And the only way to do that is to constantly ask for good reviews. Ask people to give you 5 stars, and it's okay to say that. It's okay to say it, because what Google does is they rarely will give you 5 stars. Rarely. They will predict based upon how good you are, what they think is going to happen if you get a bad review. Which isn't fair, right? And maybe they've since changed that algorithm. That was the case about 6 months ago. I had a client that had all 5 stars. He had about 12 reviews. So it should have come out to have been 5 stars all the way across. But they gave him 4.5 because they said in the event he gets a bad one, we're already there. We're already predicting, So if there's 1 bad review out of 13 good reviews, then this is what his average should be. I think it's bogus, but that's where we're at. They kind of rule. The next thing is, if you do get a negative review, really be sincere and be humble. Always apologize, even if it is not even if you didn't do anything wrong. Apologize for the misunderstanding. Apologize if they had a bad experience. Apologize that, they're upset. We're so sorry that you're upset. Please tell us what we can do to improve the situation. I'm going to inbox you, and we would like to continue the discussion further to find out what we can do to rectify this matter. What people need to see is that you are involved on your review sites, and that you care what people have to say, and you're not just leaving it there for anyone to have anything to say. They want to make sure that if someone does have a bad experience, that you took it into your hands to care enough about that customer to make it right. And maybe you couldn't make it right, but if you did, and a lot of times you can, because there's something that they want. There's a reason why they went online. They decided probably at 3 a.m. to leave the angry review. There's something that they want. They wanted your attention, and they got it. So a lot of times what you can do is, after you rectify the matter, go back and ask them to delete the comment. So that is a really good practice to have. And say, hey, now that we've straightened this up, would you mind please taking this review down? Leaving a comment to let them know that you're now satisfied with our service and that we have come to an understanding, a mutual understanding. So it's really good it's okay to ask people to take your review down, as long as you've done what you could do to correct the situation. But remember, you have to take ownership, because if you don't do it, someone is already owning your reputation. You leave yourself vulnerable to the people that was not 100% satisfied with your service, and you don't want those people to be in charge of who you are and what you do. And this is not going anywhere. It's becoming more and more prevalent. It's becoming more and more of an important issue to make sure that you're getting the best scores possible online. Because how many of us have ever bought anything, we'll say from China, and it wasn't what they promised? Has anyone had that experience before? I think that's happened a lot of fashion sites. That's where people are just kind of like, I bought a dress and I thought it was going to just be perfect. What I got, I could have made it myself with my eyes closed using my feet. It was terrible. It was horrible. The fabric was wrong. It didn't work, And so that's happened. But this is how they get around that. People are getting smarter about going around and making sure that these companies are legit. They're not so focused on the product anymore. Now they want to know, who is the company behind this product? Because we have sites like Amazon that are huge. Amazon is taking over quite a bit, right? But even when you're shopping on Amazon or eBay, you're looking for the buying experience every time. How many stars does this person have? Does anyone else look at that level of importance? Absolutely. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sorry, at this point. No? Hopefully that's a good thing. But yeah, so keep that in mind, that Amazon, they care about the reviews. PayPal, they care about how you treat people. eBay, all these things matter. That is how this is what people do to find find out if they want to keep buying from you. And we all know that reducing churn is one of the number one ways to stay in business, is to create a repeat customer experience. Is anyone using Amazon? They try to buy from the same people, maybe some of the same companies if they can. Anybody? I know that I like to stick with some of the same retailers if I can. You know, I'm very leery sometimes about shopping with, especially what I'm buying and how much money I'm spending. You know, if you're going to buy something off the internet and it's going to cost you more than $100, you know, I really take my time to make sure that I research that company a bit. And maybe $100 isn't a lot to some of you, but I am sick if I lose a penny. That's me. But I want you to just understand that you really have to own this. And it means you have to get involved on social media. You really have to get involved, as annoying as that might sound, and some people loathe that kind of experience. But keep in mind that who your customers are, your target audience, what are they doing, what are they likely to do, understand what helps them to buy things, be a source. You know, you don't have to just post about what your product is, but also have a point of view about that product. Give product reviews. You know, if maybe you're reselling some things, even if you're like a financial expert, which some of you are, you know, go in and give some videos and some information about the products that you're selling. Help people to understand before they even get there what this is, what it's about, you know. And some of the clients that you already have, and it might have been a while ago, if you know someone's happy, go back and ask them. You really want your happy customers at the forefront of your review process. So, leaving you with this thought, I don't want you to really stress about bad reviews. Like I said, they'll happen. It's not that big a deal, but it's how you handle it that matters, right? Handle it with grace, handle it with humility, with sincerity. You know, being prompt and diligent. You don't want it to be, because people can also see when you reply. That's another thing. It's like, hey, look, they got this bad review in February, and you waited 3 months to respond to it. That looks neglectful. And people are looking at all these different things. I'm sorry, we mind opening the door there? Got this password protected. Thank you very much. So keep that in mind. It's okay if you have a couple of bad reviews. And just to share an experience, I want you to keep in mind that technology hasn't necessarily caught up with this process just yet. Even though they're demanding it and they're asking you to invest your time and your money into reputation management, Facebook, the system, unfortunately, they review each review by person in the order it came in. So if you dispute your review with Facebook, it might be months before they will actually do anything about it. I've had that experience before where a disgruntled employee created a false account and left a bunch of negative reviews on a client's page. And we had really no way of controlling that. And it was horrible. They had to take legal action against it. And I asked Facebook, well, can you please pull this up? I even showed them screenshots and emailed it to them of threats that this person had against my particular client. And it was really disappointing to see that they didn't have the technology yet that would help them to manage false reviews. So the only thing we could do is make sure that the good reviews piled down the one bad one. And it's really unfair that the bad review that got to stay on our page for a few months, we had to wear that negative star. At least if you get a bad review, you want to earn it, right? You want it to be something legit and not someone that actually lied about. But that's what happened. And there was nothing they could really do about it. They couldn't expedite it. They couldn't pull it up. They couldn't move us ahead. There was nothing they could do for about 3 months. It was very frustrating. So I want you to keep that in mind. This is the reason why you have to have a system in place. So that way, if you do hit that one bad review, and I hope it never happens to anybody, but if you do hit that one negative experience where someone is just lying about you because they want to tank your reputation for whatever reason, you know, at least you have a whole lot more great stories to outweigh that one crazy person that is just hating on you, right? So I want you to keep in mind, don't stress it, just keep your system going. Like I said before, offer a resolution. If you do get a bad review, offer a resolution. And you can even incentivize people for leaving a good review. You know, maybe they get a free 30 minutes if you're a consultant. Maybe they can have a coupon, or maybe, you know, you offer lunch and learn and they become a featured guest. So incentivize people for leaving a good review, because you're asking them to take some time out of their day, out of, you know, their life, type something up, It shouldn't be that much effort, but if it is, you know, just give them an incentive, especially if you're going to put it in your email newsletters and your correspondence. And like I said, it's hard to maintain 5 stars, so don't stress out if you're around 4.5 or 3.5. If you're beneath 3.5, you really are going to have to work very hard to pull that up. But people are okay, and it depends on your volume of reviews. If you have like 15 reviews, then yeah, you want to be at about 4.5 stars. But if you have thousands of customers and you're shipping lots of products all the time, then people are kind of more forgiving if you have like a high volume business, if you're around 3.5 stars. Okay? Maybe people go to hotels, you know, you want your hotel to be 5 stars because of what the product is. You know, I'm staying in this room. I want it to be clean. You want me to spend X amount of dollars. I need this to be a great experience. But keep in mind that the product really affects what that score should be and how much people are spending with you. And like I said, technology hasn't quite caught up yet to all of this, but it will. And there are fantastic services that will allow you to really create a system for reviews, the videos. There's one company I've worked with, it's called Reputation Force. It's a really cool company that has, they already have like a system built in. So say for example, maybe you're a doctor or you're a lawyer, people check into your office. They'll automatically, after you check them in, they'll send out emails asking people for reviews for you. And if a negative review goes out there, then they will offer an incentive, a gift card or something to make that person happy. But what happens is they start to query the reviews, and what's bad, they don't necessarily push out there into the social sites. They'll house it. And that's how a lot of companies are getting around the bad review system, is that the bad reviews are kind of housed on a separate site from your actual website. So they control what you can see. And that's how some of that happens. And the services are pretty affordable. But the reputation management process is very, very important that you have something. So if you're not willing to do it yourself, or you don't have the time to do it yourself, hire somebody. Hire somebody. Hire a social media manager that can get on top of it. You know, they can call you and say, hey, how do you want me to handle this? Put your assistant in charge of that process. Make sure that, like I said, everyone is on board and they understand what the difference makes, because people love to research, and that's not going to change. But we have to make sure that the research about you is quality. So I recommend that you go in and Google yourself. You know, if you don't do it, go in, Google yourself, see what comes up. Find out what your digital imprint looks like. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to the review process. Some people don't want to get on Yelp, or they don't want to get on Facebook because they don't want to be vulnerable to reviews. But at the same time, you leave a lot of money on the table too, right? Because if someone is researching you and they're saying, hey, look, you know, he's a financial management, he wants me to put millions of dollars into a portfolio, and they can't research you, they may not do business with you. Because once they start typing in things, guess who comes up? Other people who do the same thing. And then there's also recommendations, you know, or Facebook, even Twitter, they recommend. Once they see that you're typing something into their search, they start recommending other things. You know, you might like this. People who search for this person have also connected to this person. You know, LinkedIn does that. We've seen that feature on LinkedIn, right? So you've got some competition there. So if you're not a part of that process, and I love LinkedIn for the reason that they have those recommendations and endorsements, you know, so make sure that you're really asking people to leave recommendations for what you do, even on LinkedIn. So if you are, you know, an individual and you're not a corporation, then utilize LinkedIn for that reason. But people want to know first, what are other people saying? We can all say that we're great, and we all think we're great. No one thinks that they're terrible, right? But what matters is that other people think we're great to a person who's going to be spending money with us. Any comments or questions? No? All right. Hopefully, does that mean I'm explaining things well?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Like, just making sure. But, you know, keep in mind the future that, you know, there's a lot of customer service that's being put into the algorithms in social media moving forward. Even a lot of things that are happening. And we find, has anyone ever had that experience where you try to reach someone and you can't call? We've seen that. There's no phone number. They want you to email, text support. There's no person there. That's so annoying. No one likes that. And then if you finally get through, there's a company, I think, who did I recently call that just happened with? there was a domain company. It was Yahoo. I called them, and they had another company overseas that was managing that sort of, their tech support, and they were going to bill me for correcting a hack. They're going to charge me $50 or $60 to correct their problem. And that's what's happening. And this is the reason why Google is really, really pushing reputation management, is because there's so many people that are outsourcing things that are important, and they can't get things resolved, and that really ruins the buying experience. Because if we can't trust the sites that Google recommends to us and puts first in a search engine result, then you stop trusting Google as a search engine, right? They want to make sure that it's quality. They want to make sure the sites that they are referring are quality. And what makes a quality site? Referral links, shares, backlinks, all these sorts of things. Social media followers, how many pages you have, how many blog articles you've written, all these things matter. Press that's connected to it, all these things matter, all of them. And all of them are an important part of your reputation. Every blog you write is about your reputation, and whether or not you know what you're talking about, whether or not you have a point of view in your industry, whether or not you have anything to share or contribute. We see that some of the best doctors and surgeons, they contribute, right? They publish papers, and that's usually how they determine who's awesome in the world of medicine. Well, it's become that way now on the most basic level for everyone. We're all at the same standard of publishing content, publishing information, taking that same content we published to our websites or to those guest blog sites and putting it out there on social media and asking for people to share that. That's all part of your reputation. So you need to make sure that people understand what you think, what makes you different, what makes you stand out. And then once they found out, hey, I like what you have to say, and I agree with you, now, what did other people have to say about you? Those things make a difference. So, I know we were supposed to last until like 1:30, but I want to just kind of go around the room and find out what everyone does and whether or not you're involved in social media, so we can shame you. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll start here with the introduction.
Hi, I'm Andrea Applegate. My company is Applegate Talent Strategies. I'm a talent strategist, and that means that I work with employers, with businesses on their people practices to make their workplace